Good morning. Daze with Jordan the Lion. I couldn't even get John in bed today. Came out of the shower and he was standing at the foot of my chair, wagging his tail like he either had to go outside or wanted to go outside, so we're out. Everything's about you, isn't it? It's all about you. He had a bath yesterday, so he's all like clean and shiny and feeling like $1 million. $1 million puppy. I gotta work a little bit today, just for a few short hours, and I'm just gonna go ahead and walk there because one of the places that I've wanted to go that I actually haven't, it's like two places, but one of the places out of the two I've never been before, so I've been kind of waiting to do it since it's sort of in the neighborhood. It's in Hollywood, so I know I'm gonna have a shorter day today. I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna go vlog from there. I think you guys will enjoy it, especially you old history Hollywood fans. It's definitely a staple for old Hollywood. 1918 is to be exact. Sorry guys, we'll talk to you later. Jaws to go. I just wanted to give a little reminder about our, if you're in Los Angeles, Christmas night, 8 p.m. at the New Beverly Theater, I'm having a meetup. I know I'll be in town. Most of my friends probably won't be. Tickets for less than $10, and I have a sneaking suspicion, since Tarantino owns the theater, he'll make an appearance. He usually does when they show his movies, and he's really nice. I used to have a job where I had to go to his house, and he was always cool to me, so. I saw that Thursday night downtown they're having like a memorial tribute to Leonard Cohen. Music, and I'm not exactly sure what all it is, but it's free, it's downtown, I could probably take the train, so Thursday, if I don't have anything going on, I have a pretty good day planned ahead. I know exactly what I'm going to vlog, and it's not just the Leonard Cohen concert. So, stay tuned for, I guess, what would be Friday for you guys, but my Thursday, it's going to be a great day. I had to throw some nicer clothes on for this little filming, then I can take them off and go back to my custom black shirt. Unfortunately, this is the only day at work I have this week right now. Actually, I originally had 3 days of work, and Modern Family got canceled because I have tattoos, and my catering gig for tomorrow morning, I was supposed to work in Hollywood, like within a walk, from 5 a.m. till noon, and then they sent me an email yesterday saying that the party had been downsized by the client, and they were only going to need half the wait staff. So one of the serious drawbacks to being self-employed, I guess. But you know, the only thing I really crave in the world is freedom, and even being poor, I have freedom. And throughout the time that I vlog, you guys have probably heard enough stories, or will, to understand why I don't have a day job. It has nothing to do with my work performance. If anything, I'm always the hardest working person on any staff. And the jobs that I've lost were mainly because I was so good of an employee that they were offended when they knew I was looking for another job, or they knew I was moving. I worked at a computer factory as my job before I moved to California right out of high school, because my theory was, get the kind of job I would never want to have for myself that's not my personality, so that I know when I move what I could have been doing, or what I could have ended up doing all the time. And I was the best person on the line, and I got laid off there a month before I moved because they did a massive company layoff. Literally half the company got laid off, and the entire second shift got let go, and they basically, the day before, my manager walks up to me and goes, "You still moving to Hollywood in March?" That was like a month away, and I go, "Oh yeah, dude, of course." So when they had to let go of people, you obviously let go of the person that's going to be leaving in a month. But yeah, those are the downsides of being self-employed. And as I go by places I used to work, I will always tell you guys when I worked there, what I did there, why I left. I've, you know, honestly, There's one thing I can always say about myself, is that I am a hard worker. And when I got laid off that computer job, even though I had already saved up plenty of money to move here, and I had a month I could have just hung around and had fun and visited my friends and stuff, I had a goal, and I knew I didn't want to stray from that goal. Like, I wanted to work till a certain date. I wanted to leave on a certain date. And I used to work at a music store when I was in high school, Sound City Music in Troy. And through there, the drum teacher was also a recruiter for a temp agency. So when I got laid off, I immediately called him. And for a month, I took on the worst job I ever had in my life. And the first day I worked there, they offered me a full-time job because of my work. It was a computer factory they gave me a utility knife, and I was trimming the flash off of plumbing parts and baby high chairs, literally for 8 hours. It was a line that pushed them out, and you couldn't stop the line. You had to work constantly until breaks. I mean, it was rough. And even one time, they offered me this astronomical amount of money to work a night shift, and I said I would only do it if I could work the morning shift too. So I worked 16 straight hours. That was like 2 weeks before I moved here. So being self-employed is a big thing to me right now. Always will be. I love freedom. Is that supposed to be Hitchcock? It looks like Hitchcock to me. I think that is. I think that's supposed to be Hitchcock over there. Pretty cool. Well, I'm done with work. And when I turned my phone on to check my messages, one of the oddest requests for work I've ever had. And I'm gonna do it because it actually sounds like a lot of fun. I had an email asking me, because I've done these like in-store demos before, asking me if I would work Saturday and Sunday at a PetSmart, getting paid $30 an hour for 4 hours each day from noon to 4 to be a Santa Claus in PetSmart. They'll give me the costume and everything, and I just have to stand there and take pictures with dogs. It's a lot of money to take pictures with dogs. 30 bucks an hour. Sometimes things work out. I'm kind of glad that I posted that whole rant on there before I went in, because what I forgot to say in there is I always feel like things will work out if they're meant to. Other than my acting career, everything's worked out when it means to. Things happen, fall in line when they mean to, and they don't fall in line when they mean to. So, I guess there is a positive side to everything. Now, I had to be on where I'm gonna be. I was gonna be there Sunday anyway to vlog something. So now I just work from 12 to 4, and then I'll go vlog it afterward. And Breck lives about a mile away. So an awesome fan of the vlog bought me a drone and had it sent to me. And since the only place that I know of that you can really fly a drone around here is the park that John and I go to, and there's no reception there. I actually met a guy there using a drone, and he couldn't even get it off the ground because he couldn't get the drone to connect with like Wi-Fi or whatever. So a fan bought me a drone. We had it sent to Breck's house because he actually has some open land near him. And we'll be messing with that this weekend. So thank you, Jody. You know, my car could use a paint job. I was walking by and I automatically loved a couple of things about this house. For one thing, I like the horseshoe there. And two, I love that these people have an appreciation for Shamu and have a picture of Jim Morrison in the corner of that window. That window says Kamala Harris. The first thing I read when I saw, or that I thought of was, I think his name's James Harris, who's Kamala, the wrestler. But he's got both legs amputated. I don't think he's thinking about running for any office. I don't know. Well, here's the back of the, well, what was formerly known as the Charlie Chaplin Studios. Now it's Jim Henson Company. This whole block at one point was Chaplin Studios. And we're gonna walk around to the front now and check it out. You can see there the old time looking gates. That's all part of the studio building. Definitely the kind of the classic Chaplin Danish Dutch style that we've come to know. Now, they say online that this was used for the Chaplin movie. I don't think so. I mean, I rewatched Chaplin before I went out and did this, and that looks like they did a reproduction on a lot somewhere, or out on one of the ranches, because the background and everything around this is just, even with trickery, I don't know how they could have done that. Now, I will go across the street, and I'll show you like the entirety of this massive place, but like I said, now it's Jim Henson Studios, and there's not a whole lot you can really get out of other than seeing the architecture and the greatness of once Charlie Chaplin opening this place in 1918. But there is one little like nugget of something that it's worth seeing over here, and I wanted to find it and put it on the it's right here because it has a story. There's old Kermit the Frog, and these would have been the old gates of Chaplin Studios, and it even goes down here a little ways. See, and there's the painting of Charlie. Even before this was Henson Studios, I used to walk by here because it was kind of closed. They weren't using it for anything, and that painting of Charlie on the wall, that was, or on the door, that was all that was really here. I don't think we can get in much more than that. They have a security guard gate and all that, so just kind of show you. Now it's used for recording. I know Weezer has done some stuff here, and various other projects. That would have been it. Now this section right here is kind of what I wanted to show you, because it says it was built in 1917 and declared 1969 a historical landmark. And here's Charlie. Now there's a tad bit of lore here. The story is that in 1918, when Charlie opened this studio, he decided to put his signature and some footprints with his big floppy shoes on a slab. And you can see it right there. It says Charlie Chaplin, 1918, and then over here is a footprint there, and then a footprint here. Now that seems pretty awesome, and of course there's two leading in right there as well. But here's the story that I found. You can see one right there. So they basically go all the way up the steps. The story that I found was that when Charlie opened this in 1918, he did do that. He actually did write his name, and it was on a slab right out front, just like this. But in 1960, he sold the studio to Red Skelton. And one of the first things Red Skelton did was Red Skelton took up the slabs and took them out to his Palm Springs house and had them on display out there. And one of the rumors is that I found online was that after Red Skelton sold the studios, part of the deal was that Herbert Alpert from A&M, which is actually just the next block over, and I believe he must have owned part of this as well for the story to make sense, Herb Alpert demanded they be returned. And so the story was that's what they were doing here. These were the returned slab stairs. But what I come to find out when I did a little bit more research was that Red Skelton's widow said that's not true. She said what happened is that when Red bought the property, he did take the stairs, took them out to Palm Springs, and when he passed away, she donated them to the university that Red Skelton graduated from in Indiana. And the actual signed slabs with the footprints, those are actually on display in Red Skelton's museum at his university in Indiana. And I forget, I know what it's called, but I can't pronounce it off the top of my head. It started with like a V or something like that, so that's it. Story, Charlie Chaplin Studios. Now this is all the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, but it used to be A&M Recordings. So he had that whole block, Herb Alpert. There's Tijuana Brass Records. And starting here is the length of Chaplin Studios. Now, a lot of the classics that he did here were, well, literally the classics. The Gold Rush, Modern Times, City Lights, The Great Dictator. And I actually am going to go to one of the scenes in The Great Dictator was filmed on location, and I am going to do a vlog about that at some point. But he made all those classics here, and actually City Lights is one that Gene Wilder says that nothing that he ever saw changed his life and inspired him to be an actor more than City Lights. But Charlie occupied this location, this Tudor mansion style lot from 1918 when it was completed until 1960, and he actually sold it because he and Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks were opening United Artists. And like I told you guys before on the walk over here, sold it to Red Skelton. So there it is. Now about a block away from here is another kind of cool Charlie landmark that I'm going to go to. It's called the Charlie Chaplin Cottages, and he used to house a lot of his actors here. They say, well, I'll save it for when we get over there. All the people that they say used to stay there. I moved here in 2000, and these people have been selling these cow hides and these animal hides ever since I moved here. Somebody's supporting them. At least when I used to walk by, it was all cow hides and like kind of animal style seats for your car. Is that what they're called? Post officers? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Well, there it is. I should put that on a shirt. That should be like my catchphrase. All my shirts will just say, well, here it is, or, well, there it is. Those are the Charlie Chaplin Cottages. And I will go across, but I think you kind of get a better view from here. These are about 2 blocks away from the Chaplin Studios, and they say that they're haunted. They say that the people that used to live here kind of haunt the premises. They say that about every place. You know how many places I've researched and they always say that it's haunted? It may or may not be, I don't know, I'm just telling you, they all say that. And they all say that Marilyn Monroe lived in all the apartments everywhere I go to, so. But ones that I believe is, I see Judy Garland lived here, John Barrymore, Mary Pickford, or they at least stayed here while they were filming, Douglas Fairbanks, Rudy Valentino. The one that I'm recently becoming a Douglas Fairbanks fan. Partially because, you know, I always have loved Kevin Kline, and Kevin Kline played Douglas Fairbanks in the Chaplin movie. But one of the things that I like about Douglas Fairbanks is that, damn, I wish that guy running by would have waved. That would have been funny. When I was recently watching that documentary about stunts and everything, one of the things they say was that the reason that Douglas Fairbanks had such a massive appeal was because he was like a swashbuckling, like action kind of hero, and he was very graceful in everything he did. So I immediately assumed, well, it's probably stunt guys. But what they said was, they said, like, some of the stuff was done with stunts, but more times than not what they did was they built the set based off of Douglas Fairbanks' measurements. His arm span, his weight, his height, and everything. So when he would grab onto something to swing or to pull himself up, it had all been built based on the length of his arm, so that everything was meant to be done gracefully, which I thought was absolutely cool, because I can't, maybe I'll find just a little bit of footage and I'll put in here of Douglas Fairbanks doing some of that stuff. Well, I didn't want him to flag my video because these clips I'm using have some sort of audio, so I just figure I'll talk through it. There's the smooth devil Douglas Fairbanks showing off his stuff. That scene you saw of him sliding down the curtain with a knife, that was actually designed by his brother. His brother was a physics guy and was able to construct that for him. Check this move out. This is one of my favorites. If I can ever perfect this, watch out, ladies. Boom. So now that I'm becoming kind of like interested in wanting to see more of his work, this is even more interesting to me. Luckily, I'm pretty tall, See, they even call it that. They even call it the Charlie Chaplin Cottages. It looks like some are for sale. But since I'm pretty tall, and I did bring the selfie stick, if I need it, I can at least show you guys some of the property up close. Once again, that old Dutch style kind of witch type roof. And they said that this place, you know, because of the design of it and everything, it's attracted all kinds of people to come check it out. One of which being a man that we all know and love, named Walt Disney. So check that out. I wish these gates were open. I'd walk right in and give us a little tour. Well, it's not locked, so I'm gonna try and go on in. Oh, no, that won't open. Well, it was worth a shot. Yep, can't get in. That's unfortunate. I thought this little gate right here, it's open, but somehow the way it's like kind of built, you can't push it open, so. Guess that'll have to be it for the day on the Charlie Chaplin Cottages. If you're ever looking to move to Los Angeles or looking for an apartment, don't forget about the Charlie Chaplin Cottages. I should get commission for that. Well, I would not consider myself a Star Wars fan. It was a little before my time. And then when I finally saw it, I had seen Spaceballs so many times that Star Wars has just never really done that much for me. But I appreciate the lore of it for sure. And I heard that they have all of Hollywood Boulevard shut down this week because they're doing some massive premiere for Rogue One. And apparently there's a bunch of like Star Wars stuff out in the street. So I think at some point during the week I'm going to take a walk down there and I'll at least show you guys some of that stuff because I know most of you probably are big Star Wars fans. And Thursday, I don't know what's going to happen Thursday because I told you guys about the Leonard Cohen tribute memorial thing. But Chris Paul's also doing a Feed the Children event at 4 p.m. at the Grove. And I really want to go to that because I'm a big Chris Paul fan and I've met the guy a handful of times and he's been nothing but cool to me. He signed a basketball for me, a jersey for me, a pair of shoes. But he's just always a nice guy to be around. And actually one of the most inspiring things I ever saw was it was like an hour-long video of something that he does every year, which is he goes back to his high school and he does a talk to all the incoming freshmen. And I watched this video. It's like an hour long of him giving like this little speech, and it's like an hour long, and he fields a few questions, but mostly it's just him telling like how he's went about becoming successful. It's actually really inspiring, and I think even for a grown person, you can get something out of it. So when he does stuff like that, or he makes himself available for charitable things, I always try and show up for Clipper events or anything that the Clippers are involved in when it's charitable. So I'll probably pick up a toy and I'll take it down there and donate it to his Feed the Children drive. So that might happen Thursday. There's just a lot of things that may happen Thursday, and I also might possibly be working. Who knows? So thanks for tagging along with me. We're going to take Joe out for a little bit of a walk, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. I work hard every day to try and bring you guys something different and a different take on it and a whole lot of me in it. And I know not every video is for everyone, and but it's all me. So I'm just trying to let you in on who I am. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's go see what the moon looks like. Oh, there's the Capitol Records tree. There's the moon. We are calling it a night.